Welcome back to another video. It is officially an end of an era as Klay Thompson is, as you see, he is joining the Dallas Mavericks. Um, and yeah, I kind of wanted to make it a separate video, a rest from the, free agency stuff that happened. I guess we'll go over some of the stuff that happened day 2 of free agency after we are done with the Klay Thompson thing. But yeah, I wanted to give it a separate video because this is a big thing. Even if Klay Thompson obviously is not the same Klay Thompson, um, I don't know about you, but for me, growing up watching basketball basically throughout the whole Warriors dynasty, you kind of never imagined Klay Thompson leaving this team, and you almost thought almost like a storybook ending where him, Draymond, and Curry, they all finished their careers, you know, in Warriors jerseys. So I already heard that the Warriors plan on retiring his jersey, so that's cool at least. But apparently, Klay Thompson, to join the Mavericks, he's taking less money than he got from the Warriors and less money that he got from the Los Angeles Lakers. So I don't know what the reason is. Maybe he just thinks this team's closer to contending. That's why he wants to join the Mavericks. Or maybe, I don't know, a lot of people talking about, the Texas income tax, stuff like that. That could, I guess, play a role. So, yeah, I don't know the full reasoning of exactly why, but he's going to Dallas. So, basically just going to be giving my full thoughts on that, of him going to the Mavericks, for the Mavericks, for him, for other teams. And for the Mavericks, I definitely do like the fact that he's getting paid relatively cheap. I don't know. I think it's a $3 or $50 million deal. So he's on a relatively cheap contract. And that's still a like mid-level exception area type of pay. A little bit above that, but I think it's relatively a good contract. Obviously, I think Klay Thompson's, ability to shoot is the main thing that I think he'll really provide, obviously, for this team, is that's essentially all he really is at this point of his career. But in this, I know that they end up losing Josh Green also, and 2 second-round picks. Josh Green will be going to Charlotte. So in the end, they lost, Josh Green, they lost Derrick Jones, and they replaced him with Klay Thompson and Najee Marshall. I don't know. My biggest question about him going to the Mavericks is this team's defense. You lose Derrick Jones. You essentially replace him with Najee Marshall. But now you bring in Klay Thompson, which will likely be the starter, as I think a big reason he left the Warriors was they informed him that he would be coming off the bench for Brandon Podziemski for the second half, or for next season. Which could have been a big reason why he didn't want to re-sign, because he didn't want to come off the bench. So Klay will be a starter on this team. And I don't know. I feel like we'll have to see how it actually, plays out. But I don't think that the Klay Thompson signing is going to really bring them to the next level. Like I said, their defense, I think, is going to be a big question where, Klay is nowhere near the defender he was anymore. And I think with the backcourt of Luka and Kyrie, there was already questions about their defense before that. Obviously, you have a young center in Derek Lively, who, amazing rookie year, and I expect him to, continue to progress. But aside from, Derek Lively, I don't think their starting lineup is that great defensively. And I think that's going to be one of their bigger problems with this team. And that's why I'm not too crazy about the Klay Thompson signing. Obviously, I think the bigger reason why it's talked about is more so because Klay Thompson's leaving the Warriors. But I still, I feel like a lot of people at the same time also think that this move is going to instantly make them, the favorite of the West, or a favorite to win, the finals. And I don't really think this is moving the needle that much. Yeah, they probably did get a little bit better, but at this point of Klay Thompson's career, I don't really know how much is really left. Obviously, the shooting is there, but that's really all he provides for your team. So I'm not too sure how it's gonna play out. Obviously, he played with Curry and Draymond, and with the coaching of Steve Kerr, I think a lot of, off-ball action that could, sometimes get him some, open looks for three. I think that's something that he also will maybe slowly regret, maybe taking for granted just playing with a team with, those three guys, his coach and Steve Kerr, Stephen Curry, and Draymond. He might take that for granted with them. I mean, obviously there's Luka and Kyrie. They're both players that could definitely draw double teams and will. And Luka's playmaking is insane. We all know this. So that's the only thing is maybe on the Mavericks it's not as bad, or he won't, see that as much because he has a really, really good playmaker in Luka Doncic. But I don't know. I think for, maybe it's a hot take. I just think that, Klay Thompson's not going to play too crazy well on the Mavericks, aside from obviously, like I said, shooting. But I don't think he provides much else aside from shooting at this point of his career. And so I think that the Mavericks still have to make a few moves. They actually want to be a, top team in the West. Obviously, they were just in the finals. But honestly, I still would take some other teams over them. Obviously, maybe the Nuggets are starting to kind of fall off, but I still think the Thunder are definitely better than them, and that's probably my current, favorite in the West. But yeah, I mean, obviously this is still a good move. I'm not saying it's a bad move, obviously. I think for the money that you pay him, it's still a really good contract, especially when this is a guy that, he's had a lot of past success, so obviously adding someone that has been, way better than the level they're at right now, maybe he decides to go back to old Klay Thompson. He missed a lot of games with injuries. Maybe the more he's playing, the closer he feels back to, his old self. I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of my full thoughts on this. It is definitely interesting that I will likely never see him again in a Warriors jersey unless he goes back for the last year of his career or something. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is a interesting thing to think about that he will never be playing for them again. And then for the Warriors side of it, I mean, I don't know what they're doing at all. They, kind of once we go over, what they, did, they brought in DeAnthony Melton. And so far, that's really all they've done. They released Chris Paul, where there was a rumor that they could have got Zach LaVine for Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul. Instead, they decide to just release Chris Paul. Right now, don't know what's going to happen with Andrew Wiggins. I think this is for sure he's not going to be back on the team. But yeah, I don't really know what they're doing. They didn't, get anything out of Klay Thompson, essentially. They got 2 second-round picks. But there was a lot of rumors that I seen that the Lakers, one, gave more money, and they were willing to give D'Angelo Russell to the Warriors in a sign-and trade to get Klay Thompson. Now, obviously, for me being a D'Angelo Russell fan, could be biased, but I personally think at this point of their careers, D'Lo is a better player than Klay Thompson. Obviously, fit is a big thing, but I still think D'Angelo Russell is a better player than Klay Thompson, and that I don't really know what the Warriors are doing. Obviously, D'Lo's played there before. Maybe it's not a perfect fit, but you at least would rather have that than 2 second-round picks to then at least maybe we rework a trade to then move him. You have him. He's on a relatively, I think, really good contract for his skill level. I think you could definitely at least get something out of it or just do something. I just think that they haven't done anything aside from now just they've lost 2 players. They lost Klay Thompson basically for 2 second-round picks, so damn near nothing. And then they released Chris Paul, so they got him, for nothing. They just lost him for nothing. And so I don't know what they're doing. I mean, it's basically ever since, Bob Myers left the team and kind of, now you see him on ESPN and stuff. It's been going downhill ever since then. I feel like in terms of the management for the team. So I don't know what they're going to do. They need to make a move because obviously, this team currently it's worse than it was. I mean, losing players and gaining nothing out of it, you're not going to get better. And I just think they need to make a move because they have Curry. and maybe they're just kind of relaxed back because they think Curry just, he's gonna want to retire a Warrior. We're gonna keep Curry. It's okay. But I don't know. I feel like they have to be a lot more urgent because, hey, if Curry sees this team for the next few years, he doesn't have that much longer left in the league. There's a pretty good chance that he's just like, okay, you know what? I'm tired of it. We're not even trying to win. I'm trying to go to a contender. I'm requesting a trade. And once it comes to that time, then the Warriors are going to look pretty bad if that does ever happen. So they need to obviously be proactive about it. They need to go out and try to build a team around, Curry. Like, give him a good team because this is not a team that's going to win a championship. I have seen them in Lauri Markkanen rumors. I don't know what they even have that they could really give up that would get them Lauri Markkanen. I mean, they have a good amount of picks. They have Kuminga, maybe. But I also don't know what's the willingness for the Jazz to even part ways with Lauri Markkanen. But we'll see. Obviously, I think that even if they do get Lauri, I don't think that brings them to a true contender. I think they need multiple players if they want to really change this thing around. So I don't know what the Warriors are doing. For the Lakers, I know a lot of people are saying Rob Pelinka isn't even doing his damn job, which actually, matter of fact, if you look in the bottom right here, he is trending on Twitter. And I mean, I don't know what you really want him to do. He offered more money, more years, basically gave a more likable offer to most free agents, but apparently to Klay Thompson, he said, nah, I'm going to take the less money, the less years, and I'm going to go to the Dallas Mavericks. So there's nothing, Rob Pelinka really could have did in this situation. It's not like he didn't try to get Klay Thompson. And then for, the Lakers, obviously, you miss out on Klay Thompson. But, I mean, maybe you dodge a bullet. Me personally, like I said, if that's true that they actually did offer D'Angelo Russell for Klay Thompson in a sign-and trade, I honestly think it's better off you didn't get him. I don't think Klay Thompson replacing D'Lo is making the Lakers a better team at all. Because then you have even bigger worries at point guard, I think, unless LeBron goes to running point guard. But he's older, and because he's a lot older, obviously, I wouldn't want to give him that type of workload for a whole season. And I just don't think it would have made them a better team at all. I think D'Lo's the better player, the better fit, and it didn't make sense to me. Anyways, now that we're kind of through with that, I was kind of using this to talk about it because I don't know if y'all seen Woj. This motherfucker, as soon as I seen it, I thought my phone was tripping. Look at the quality that Woj posted this in. Like, what, bro, Woj, what is going on, dude? Anyways, we're going to go through the rest of kind of what happened in free agency kind of quickly before we end it. Gary Harris comes back to the Magic. Mo Bamba is going to the Clippers. So the Clippers are trying to, basically get back what they lost in Mason Plumlee. Kind of surprised to see this. Donovan Mitchell signed a 3-year, $150 million maximum contract extension. Kind of surprised just for the simple fact of, he's been in a lot of trade rumors. He didn't know what's going to happen. And he did end up actually staying with the Cavs for at least right now. Who knows? We'll see. James Wiseman ended up signing with the Pacers about 25 minutes ago. And yeah, I don't think this is a bad signing at all for the Pacers. You might as well just say, hey, let's go out and throw a contract at a guy who was a former, top 3 pick in the draft and see what he could do. He probably won't play too much. But yeah, let's see. Let's refresh Shams if there's anything new here. Tatum got a big contract. They were talking about Bronny getting a rookie contract that's like fully guaranteed, and I'm pretty sure it says that he'll start his career on the Lakers rather than in the G League. Aaron Holiday signed with the Rockets again. Yeah, this is what we were talking about. DeAnthony Melton going to the Warriors. I think it's a good contract that to get him at. Get a 1-year deal with this guy. I think it's a good player to pick up, but like I said, I think they need to make a lot more moves. I don't think D'Anthony Melton's making them a contender. Okay. But that's really it. That's why I kind of wanted to have basically a video for Klay Thompson. As it's a big thing that he's actually leaving the team. I know there's a lot of jokes about Klay Thompson and just overall. I know it's not the same Klay Thompson, but it is still a really big thing that he is finally leaving, and it's the end of an era. So that's really it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.